Hey everyone, I'm Royal. Vanessa's not here. This is Exposed, the podcast where we talk all things New York City, pop culture, fashion, leftist shit, and you may have a lot of questions. Royal, why are you in a dungeon? Why is the lighting so bad? Why is Vanessa not here and in its place a ceramic Black Panther? And the biggest question of them all, why are you wearing this fuck ass lime green top? I couldn't even get the name. Turtleneck. We're at Royal's Pad tonight. Okay? I wanted to record this during the day. Girl, I had no time. Vanessa's in sunny, amazing Florida right now. And so I brought back the camera to my apartment. Um, didn't bring the lights though, and Mama doesn't believe in overhead lighting, okay? Strictly ambient lighting. I don't know why I'm nervous for this. I'm like alone. I'm like, I have to monologue. But let's get into topics for today. ICE are looking like the army of the mustached man from the 1940s. I don't really want to say what they are, because obviously we're this early in the episode. They're mad at Zoran for having bidets in Gracie Mansion. The Golden Globes happened and they had betting odds on who were like gonna win. They had like a pop-up. I thought that was dumb as fuck. The Met Museum workers have voted to unionize. Love that. And some right-wingers are transvestigating Sydney Sweeney. Who could have saw that? Also, for some reason, we just have to talk about Sydney Sweeney and Zoran every single episode. Ugh, yeah. But again, like I said, we're at my apartment and I realized, oh, damn, none of my lights are actually going to be bright enough for the camera. So we're at like 4,000 ISO right now. So it's probably going to look grainy. Do I give a fuck? Literally no. But yeah, and I honestly, I don't want to. I'm going to do minimal editing on this. So if I like fuck up or anything, who cares? I don't. Anyways, I guess maybe I can get into what I'm wearing first. Girl, I got the diesel jeans and my very old pink Croc slippers. Because you think I'm not going to be comfortable while I'm recording this? No. Okay. And this is like an Urban Outfitters lime green top. It's like, God, such a bright, ugly color, but I like green. Okay. Who cares? My hair really isn't done. Again, I don't really care. I'm doing this after work. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Vanessa's gone to Florida. RIP. She's not dead. She's just not here. But, I have replacement Vanessa here. Oof. Anyways, first thing, ICE. What is going on? I'm really starting off with a really positive, amazing topic. ICE in Minneapolis is horrible. It's really heinous. So many illegal things are happening, and just like the brutality that these ICE officers are doing against people is crazy. Did you see they arrested? Did you see they arrested a 5-year-old child? Arrested is crazy. They like kidnapped a 5-year-old child, 4 or 5-year-old. I'm like, what the hell? There also was like a leaked memo that came out that said like, oh, the DHS sent to ICE and they were like, oh, you can just go into people's houses. You don't need a warrant. Whoa. Blatantly killing, not blatantly not following the Constitution. We love that. It makes me feel amazing about living in this country. And I'm like, what's going to happen when they come to New York? You know, obviously, I really hope Mom Donnie doesn't. He said before, I'm not going to cooperate. I'm not going to allow ICE to, operate well in the city. Let's see what happens. I'm still worried. Obviously, I know Donald Trump is probably going to send more of them because apparently they're already here. And you know what I learned is that ICE uniforms are manufactured in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. What? Why is that happening? Why is that being allowed to happen? That shit's so crazy. Okay, I said that part. Also, I'm like aiming for 30 minutes for this episode. Excuse me. Ugh. Damn, I hate that there's like dead air. I'm aiming for 30 minutes for this episode. Who knows if I'm going to get there or I'm going to pass that? Because, girl, I can monologue. Okay? If there's one thing I can do, it's talk. I used to have, this is some royal lore. You're going to be getting some like real royal stories. I used to have a podcast before this one, and I like interviewed people in the music industry, and this was like pre transition royal. So, you know, it was a while ago. And I remember I had an episode that was solo. And girl, ugh, I did like 50 minutes on that. I think I passed an hour. I talked so much. Anyways, next, I'm going to be like zooming through these topics. Like, oh my God. They're mad at Zoran for having bidets. Okay. Fox News published a story that was like, prominent Democrat is mad at Zoran because he's spending money on bidets. Uh, guys, is it woke now to have a clean ass? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? This man is so likable. This man is doing so many things that they're like, he has bidets in his apartment. Look at him. Look at him. And I'm like, can we just shut the fuck up? Like, oh my fucking God. This is like Obama tan suit level of who gives a fuck. Okay? Ugh. I'm like, honestly though, hey, if those are the only things you're going to be putting out about him, I guess do it. I guess do it, you know? Obviously, he's been doing a lot of great things. You know, he just like put back this task force that's going to be like helping unhoused people get housing in the Bronx, among other things. Just did something to crack down on like junk fees and hidden fees that like hotels and other, you know, subscriptions have. So that's really good. All in all, I'm like, oh, so all these other fucking politicians could have been getting shit done. Okay. He's doing something, you know, I can tell. For the first 100 days, he's going hard because obviously the first 100 days is where everybody has the eyes on you. And, you know, he's really, I think, I can't remember if I talked about this in the other episode, but you know, you can tell he's trying to be like Mayor LaGuardia, which, if you don't know, has been like kind of a North Star for Zoran. He's mentioned. That's my favorite mayor. LaGuardia was a very popular mayor. I think he got elected in the 30s and like smashed down corruption, won very bipartisanly, and was very good for the city. You know, you could probably guess because he got a fucking airport named after him. So, like, yeah, of course. Also, I'm just like waiting for something to go wrong in this episode. I'm waiting to record this whole thing. And then I find out that like it wasn't recording this whole time or the audio wasn't going because that would be very detrimental. Anyways, are you guys enjoying this episode? Give it a like. I forget to say that. Please like the episode. You know. Um anyways, okay, we can get off of that. Stop talking about Zoran. God, we talk about Zoran so much. But honestly though, hey, this is also a political podcast. We talk about leftist shit and New York City. Hand in hand, babe. Okay? But I'm happy about what he's doing. He's kind of like a shining light in the horrible shit that is going on in the country right now and everything that Trump's doing. The Greenland shit with Trump, where he's like, we're going to buy Greenland. And then the stock markets like went down a bunch and he's like, actually, I don't think we're going to invade Greenland anymore. He goes to like Europe to like talk at some summit, the G6, the G10 summit. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he goes to talk about that and mistakes Iceland for Greenland. God, what a fucking idiot. This man is so fucking dumb. It's insane. And I made a TikTok being like, I just, in my heart, I feel like he's going to finish out these 4 years. And then the day after, he's going to have a heart attack and die. And just no consequences. He's just going to be like, bye, guys. Do I hope that's what happens? No. I hope that happens a lot sooner. I'm not saying I'm personally going to do it, but that would be nice. That's going to be a day of celebration, honestly, when it comes around, okay? And I'm not saying anything controversial. If Vanessa was here, she would say the same thing. Yeah, I'm speaking for you now, Vanessa. Anyways, ugh, fuck Trump. I have to say that every time. That man. Let's talk about the Golden Globes. Like, I don't know. I don't really watch these award shows a lot. I didn't watch this year's Golden Globes. Honestly, didn't really keep up that they were happening. If I'm going to be completely honest here. They partnered with like Polymarket or some shit, one of those dumbass betting apps. And when the people were when they were like showing the nominees or something, a little pop-up popped up at the bottom and oh god, sorry. I don't know why I'm burping. That was really gross. Something popped up on the bottom and it was like, here are the odds for the nominees who are going to win. Who gives a fuck about that? Why are they trying to literally just like shove gambling down our throats? I'm so tired of this. Okay? Do what you want. You can have the freedom to gamble, but like this shit should be like cigarettes. It's super addicting. Don't get me started on all the sports gambling stuff and how there was just a whole scandal with a bunch of NCAA athletes or something who were fixing games to win. So people would like their bets would go through and stuff. They would hit on their bets. And I'm like, this shit isn't good. You have you have literal NBA players being like, yeah, if I fuck up on a game, there's a bunch of people in my DMs like threatening me and being like, I can't believe this. I lost all this money because you didn't hit on this parlay and all this shit. And I'm just so tired of it. And let's not talk about how it is fucking up young boys, how they're seeing their older brothers, how they're seeing their fathers or their guardians in their life gambling. Oh great, now you're being primed to start gambling and to get addicted to that? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. You never catch me shilling out for some fucking betting company, okay? And they pay a lot of money. I wonder why. I wonder why these betting companies have a lot of money to give. Oh, maybe because they're fucking people over. Maybe because this shit is meant for you to lose. Like it's like a casino. I'm sorry, but you're not doing good at a casino if you're still there. If you're doing good, they're going to kick you out. They're going to cancel your account on fucking DraftKings or whatever if you're doing a good job. Okay? I'm sorry, you're never going to win. The odds are not in your favor. This is not Hunger Games. I don't know. Those are my strong opinions on gambling. Okay? How much time are we at? Oh, it's almost 15 minutes. Damn, I'm going to go past 30 minutes. Okay, nice. The in other news, the Met Museum. I guess Vanessa, do you have anything to say? No. No, she's staying silent today. Can I say something? I put these flowers up because I thought it would zhuzh it up. I don't think it's really doing anything. I don't think the flowers are doing anything if we're being honest. Yeah, and then we got this Trader Joe's fucking cinnamon broom that I decided to prop up because I felt like there's too much negative space over there. I don't know. Okay. I honestly, I'm mad I didn't grab the lights, but there's no way I was gonna take lights. Okay. I'm not gonna schlep those. Anyways, off of that tangent. I'm really just going. God. Ugh, I swear I like didn't chug a Red Bull or anything before this, okay? I think I'm just energized because I'm like, I don't want this to have any dead air. I don't want to be boring. And Vanessa's not here, so I'm like, ugh, I guess I gotta speak like twice as much. And I have like my allergies acting up. I'm like, God, great day. In other good news, the Met Museum workers have voted to unionize. That makes me so happy. All right. Let me look up, I think it was a Gotham article about this. And sorry, Gothamist article. And like it always makes me happy when places unionize. But let's be honest, you know what's gonna happen is the Met is all of a sudden going to be like, oh, guys, I guess we're closing for 3 years. It doesn't have anything to do with them unionizing, though. Because I feel like that happens. Like if there is a union to be busted in America, oh, trust and believe that will happen. I have friends who are at a certain bakery and union busting tactics are happening. But shout out to the Met Museum workers. Met Union strong, I guess you could say. Um, I've honestly been on a big Met kick. I've been going to the Met a lot, particularly because they have a beautiful European paintings section from like the maybe like the 1600s to like the 1800s or before that. It's from like the 1100s to the 1800s. I'm literally searching this up right now because I want to tell you. And it is so beautiful. Okay. Dang, what is this? You think you'd be able to find it easily, but it's super beautiful. Okay. European paintings collection encompasses more than 2,500 works of art from the 13th century through the early 20th century. And let me tell you, so fucking beautiful. The color palettes, the color palettes that are happening on these paintings. It's just like amazing. And what I did was I went like 3 weeks ago and I just put some headphones on. I think I said this last podcast episode, but I put some headphones on and I was just like, let me walk through and just admire almost all of these paintings. And there's a lot. It is several rooms worth of paintings. And they got some crazy ones there. I got jump scared by Christopher Columbus's fucking portrait. And I was like, oof. But I did that. I actually went back this weekend, last weekend. And I was like, you know what, this time I'm just going to look in the backgrounds of every painting. Let me switch it up. Okay, let me look on the backgrounds. Really cool. These painters, God, the detail they put in. It's like these crazy, like in the background will be this like crazy, intricate Gothic building. And you're like, damn, this shit looks like a picture. It's got enough resolution. Anyways, I guess I gotta take a break. The camera's about to die, so we're gonna take a break. All right, back to the struggle, but no, I'm kidding. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Right wingers are transvestigating Sydney Sweeney. Oh my God. Who could have seen that the people who hate trans people and transvestigate everybody are transvestigating somebody? Like these right wingers will literally go, it's a trans person, it's a trans person. If it's a woman who doesn't exactly check off every fucking like list. Whoa. It's been a long work day. All right, stop judging me. But like they will literally call trans to any fucking woman who has like broad shoulders or maybe her bone structure is a little more than usual. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're literally like a snake eating its own tail. Like eventually, it's literally like they're fucking crazy. Where they're just like, everybody's trans. Nobody is fucking cisgender. I've seen conspiracies to where they think, it's so fucking crazy. They think someone is like reverse trans to where they were cis, then they were transgender, and then they were cis again, and like then now they're trans. It can get so convoluted, and these people are crazy. I hope I'm not sounding like a crazy person, but I'm just like, they will transvestigate anybody. It's so fucking insane, and it's just so dumb, but it's kind of fun to laugh at because I'm like, you guys can't be this stupid. She has a broad collarbone, so she was a man. What are we talking about here? Other things, Jonathan Anderson. I think he just had his first show at Dior. I don't know if it was his first, but had a show with Dior. Obviously, he's the new creative director for Dior Men, I think. And he said McGee inspired some of the runway looks, which I was like, oh, that's my worlds colliding, let me tell you. Oh, God. I don't know why I'm getting a cough. But like, fucking love McGee, love Jonathan Anderson. And it's kind of like really cool to see where he got some of that inspiration from. I think he was saying how, like, oh, like really shaggy hair, just baggy dressing. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, you got that from McGee. Anyways, I thought it was cool, that he was recognizing, okay, I got some inspo from McGee. So shout out to that. Let's see what else. I don't know. I think that might be it. I think, damn, I'm only at 22 minutes. I love how I was like, I'm going to blow past 22 minutes. I'm going to get crazy with this. And I'm like, oh, damn, it's only 22. What else happened in my life? Oh, I just got my first YSL piece. I would show it to you, but I really don't feel like it. And I got it for $40 off the Real Real. It's this nice top, this nice sleeveless top. It's very like ruffly on the collar. And like the Real Real is so fucking great, but God, you have to dig. And dig I do. Like I will literally just be scrolling for an hour, sort low to high, and just on all these different designers, only black clothing because that's really what I only wear. I say that as I'm wearing this green turtleneck. But yeah, I love the Real Real so much. I don't know. I feel like I like to talk about the TikToks I make, which I do this thing where I just every couple months I just love to speak about labor and how god damn these minimum wage workers are just exploited for their labor so much. And you know how I know that? Cuz I was once a minimum wage worker. I worked at a donut shop, I worked at Target, I worked at Trader Joe's, and each of those jobs took advantage of me and exploited me for my labor all the time on a daily basis. Probably, if we're being honest, because no minimum wage job actually pays you what you should, you know? And I was just talking about how, it's so normal for a job to go and look at you and say, oh, hey, one of your coworkers quit or they're gone for the day or they called out. You're going to have to pick up their slack. That's a normal thing to do. But if I looked at my manager and I went, okay, great, are you going to double my pay for today because I'm doing a two-person job? They would look at you crazy and be like, what are you talking about? No, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. I'm like, great. So you're exploiting me. You want me to do the work of two people and you're only going to pay me for just my work? Like, that's crazy. And a lot of people are conditioned to not see that as crazy and see that as normal because you got to be a hard worker, when in reality, I'm like, no, it's important to value yourself. And sadly, uh, these corporate, and minimum wage jobs in these corporate like companies are structured in such a way that even though you are a part of the workforce, which has all of the power is in the workers when they unite together, when they, what's the word? Unionize. They have all the power. But of course, these companies are smart and they have convinced you that no, we're the ones who have all the power. Obviously, there's overarching things like, people being stuck paycheck to paycheck in a minimum wage job because, grocery prices and just cost of living and housing has just skyrocketed. I want to say I'm rambling, but I feel like I'm cooking right now. I feel like I'm really cooking. All this to say, I really hope we get to a point in this country that these minimum wage workers are paid an actual living wage, that they're able to unite into a union and, show these huge companies who don't give a fuck about them. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I'm still on a Facebook group for a certain company that are employees of this certain company. And a lot of the time, people will make posts. I've been working here for 20 years and it's not the same company. They just demoted me. They just did this horrible thing. And I'm like, yes, yes, I'm sorry you thought that this company gave a fuck about you because they don't. None of these companies ever give a fuck about you. Do you know what they give a fuck about? Money. Money. That is the only reason that you exist working in this company is to give them money and to drive their profits. And the second that it looks like that you may be barely hindering that, or you may be not hindering that at all, you may be a star fucking worker, but gotta do some layoffs. Gotta do some layoffs so we have a 2% higher profits for the earnings call that we have in X amount of time. Like, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And, I kind of regret, I don't know if I regret. I overworked myself at a lot of these jobs. And I think that's just because I was raised to have, a work ethic in things. And you know what? Camera's about to die. I'm wrapping this episode up. New York's hottest club is the Met. Okay. Where else would it be? I've been talking about the Met half this episode. New York's hottest club is the Met. Media Rex, I've been listening to Lim or Leem, Liim. Amazing album that just came out. Giving me very Tyler the Creator vibes. So I would go recommend that. Also, Mavi. Ugh, mwah, I love Mavi so much. He just came out with a new album a couple months ago. Has his song Triple Nickel with Mike. So fucking good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this rambling royal only episode. Vanessa's gonna be back next week. Don't worry, don't worry. I know you're really only watching it for her. Missed you, girl. If that wasn't apparent, God, I'm like gotta hold my own this whole episode. And hey, I made it almost 30 minutes. It's been 28 minutes. I'm not gonna get to 30, but I'm proud of myself. I could have looked for more topics, but I was just like, I'm gonna free flow. I'm just gonna talk about what I want. Anyways, follow us on Instagram. Links in the bio. That's it.